Good morning, students. I am Riya Sinha, your assistant teacher. Today, we are going to continue our fifth chapter of geography, that is water. In this chapter, we have already discussed about water cycle, which is the process by which water continuously changes its form and circulates between oceans, atmosphere, and land. Then we have discussed some major sources of fresh water, which are the rivers, ponds, springs, and glaciers. We have also discussed in this chapter about the ocean bodies and seas which contain salty water. And then we have discussed about names of major oceans, that is, the largest one is Pacific Ocean, after that Atlantic Ocean, then Indian Ocean, and then the Southern Ocean, and the smallest one is Arctic Ocean. So all the ocean waters are saline because most of the salt, a large amount of salt is dissolved in it, and most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt which we use to eat. Then we have discussed about distribution of water bodies, in which we came to know about that our Earth is surrounded. Our three-fourth part of the Earth's surface is covered by water, in which 97.3% is oceans, 2.0% is ice caps, then 0.68% is groundwater, 0.009% is freshwater lakes, then 0.009% inland seas and salt lakes, and 0.0019% is having water in the atmosphere, which is in the form of water vapor or moisture, and 0.001% is in rivers. Then in the last class we have discussed about ocean circulation, in which we came to know that uh, unlike ponds and lakes, ocean water keeps on moving continuously, so it never stays still. The movement that occur in ocean can be broadly categorized as waves, tides, and currents. And then we have discussed about waves, uh, in which we came to know that when the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternately, then they are called waves. As a result of huge tidal wave, we came to know that because of an earthquake or volcanic eruption or underwater landslide, which can shift large amount of ocean water, a huge tide wave can be formed, which may be as high as 15 meters, known as tsunami. And the last topic which we had discussed in the last class, tsunami, in which we came to know about the uh, har- uh, harbor wave which is struck in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. Today we are going to start our new topic, that is tide. The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. Again, I am repeating it. Listen to me carefully and try to learn it. The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. It is high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level, and it is low tide when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. So, the rhythmic rise and fall of the ocean water is called a tide. It is of two types, high tide and low tide. We can say it as high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. When the ocean water rise, rises to its highest level, and covers much of the shore, then it is known as high tide. And when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore, then it is known as low tide. The strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. This tide is caused by the strong gravitational pull exerted by the moon, or some for some extent by the sun also. So the water of the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of moon's gravitational force and causes high tide. During the full moon and new moon days, the sun, the moon and the earth are in the same line and the tides are highest. Obviously, because of the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, because they all are in the same line, so they used to attract ocean waters towards them. So these tides are called spring tides. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the ocean waters get drawn in diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pull of sun and moon, resulting in low tides. And these tides are called neap tides. So high tides help in navigation, obviously, because they raise the water level close to the shores, and this helps the ship to arrive at the harbor more easily. The high tides also help in fishing, and many more fish come closer to the shore during the high tide. So this enables fishermen to get a plentiful catch. The rise and fall of water due to tides is being used to generate electricity in some places. Okay, now we will try to understand this topic in a better way. So let's start it. So now we will discuss about ocean currents. Ocean currents are streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite directions. The ocean currents may be warm or cold. So, ocean currents are streams of water which used to flow constantly on the ocean surface in a definite directions. It may be warm or cold. So generally the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and move towards the poles. The cold ocean currents carry water from polar or higher latitudes to tropical or lower latitudes. The Labrador Ocean Current is cold current. The Gulf Stream is a warm current. So now we have discussed the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and move towards the poles, and one of its example is Gulf Stream. And the cold currents carry water from polar or higher latitudes to tropical or lower latitudes, and its example is Labrador Ocean Current, which is a cold current. The ocean current influences the temperature conditions of the area. Warm currents bring about warm temperature over land surface, and similar with the cold currents. The areas where the warm and cold currents meet provide the best fishing grounds of the world. Seas around Japan and the eastern coast of North America are such examples, as you can see in the map also. The areas where a warm and cold current meet also experience foggy weather and making it difficult for navigation. So we will try to understand about these ocean currents uh, in a better way. So let's start. Ocean currents. The ocean currents are a horizontal movement of a mass of water in a fairly defined or constant direction over great distance. They are like streams of water flowing in the oceans and in a regular pattern. They can be warm or cold. First of all, warm ocean current, which originate from equatorial area and flow towards polar areas, are known as warm currents. Cold currents, the ocean currents which originate from polar region and flow towards equatorial areas, are the cold currents. The ocean currents originate due to difference in density of seawater, the rotation of the earth, the planetary winds, and the main characteristics of warm currents are the following. The temperature of the coastal areas goes up by warm currents. Warm currents help in navigation. Warm currents keep the path even in the polar region free from ice. That's all. We have completed the explanation part of this chapter. Hope you all understood this chapter very well. Thank you and have a nice day.